welcome to season 2 of More Than Society podcast. So I'm really happy that we had a cute following and you guys listened to the previous episode. This season is going to be a little bit different because we have my brothers with me and we are together in Bali after such a long time. So it's really nice to be with them. I feel like I'm home and I can really feel free. So I'm just going to do a little introduction. So this is Gurvit and this is Archit. So Gurvit, you want to start with you? Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I came to Bali around like 10 days ago. Super excited to be here. Taking vacation for like 3 weeks. I'm like super excited for the podcast. I think the topics we're going to cover are going to be pretty interesting. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited about that.
Yo, it's Anadi. That's my official name. Archit is my home name. And I came here like 6 weeks ago and I'm in love with smoothie bowls. That's right here. Put some protein in there, so it's scrumptious. Into the fitness scene, and I love the fitness things that's going around in Canggu here. So we're here and it's chill and it's very relaxed. Everyone's super nice. And I'm excited for this podcast. Let's do it.
Yeah, so we're just going to go dive in right now. And I think that this was like a topic that is always on our mind. It's modern society, and we're going to talk about social dynamics in dating.
Okay.
So what do you guys think about, like, what's dating for you? What does that mean? What is dating for you in this world, like in this...
Yeah, like I think dating has become predominantly online now, right? Almost everybody you meet does it through social media or some dating app. But I kind of like the conventional part of dating in the past when it was, you're approaching people in real life. I feel like it's more of an authentic kind of meeting. And when you're first approaching someone, you actually don't know, like, if they're with someone, if they're not, if you're approaching them as friends or as someone potentially to be in a relationship with.
It puts you on the spot, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But when you're using a dating app, it's kind of all that logistics is kind of thrown out the window. So I think like modern day dating is very different from at least when I was 18 or 19, it was very different compared to now. So I think that change, I don't know how I feel about it exactly. But if you were to actually define dating, what I would define it as would be you're seeing someone, and I would say, yeah, it's exclusive. It's not like you're seeing multiple people, but you haven't gotten to that relationship stage yet. You don't call each other boyfriend, girlfriend. It's just like, oh, I'm seeing someone. But it's exclusive to that person. So when I'm saying that I'm dating someone, I'm only going to use that term when I'm actually just seeing someone, but there's no like kind of girlfriend or boyfriend attached to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's completely different. I mean, we're from the 90s, right? We grew up in the 90s, so... we had Messenger back then, and that was the way to connect with girls. But even though that was weird, it was always in person, and it would be passing maybe around notes in class,
right? Or through friends, your community.
Right. Yeah. And you had to ask the person and look them in the eyes and really take that bold step to tell them that you like them or you want to go out.
Yeah.
And that took a lot of courage, and there was no. There was a lot of discussion that goes on before with your friends that you want to push this girl.
That's true.
But it's really it's one-on-one, and it's like at the moment the girl has no idea, so she has to respond right away, and it was interesting. But now it's like you said, there's a lot of thinking and you would write something and then delete it. And then write it again to make it more sexier and more approachable.
Yeah, it's a little bit like less of your character because you're kind of thinking about it instead of just going with your instincts.
Puts your character on the spot.
Right, yeah.
Like, I would ask you, like, have you ever tried online dating?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Especially when I travel.
Right.
But it's very, like, I feel like it's not as, the word I'm going to use is authentic as approaching someone in real life, I find, because I feel like the cards are just like out there. And I guess in traveling it's a bit different, but because it's more momentary. But I think it affects more like when you're staying like in your hometown, and you're kind of know the community and things like that. Because like Archid was saying, I feel like when you're dating, when initially dating was about more community and how people perceive a certain person, right? Whereas now it's online, all of that community and all those things it's gone. So like I feel like traveling, that's why I'm more open to use it, and at home where I'm staying I'm less open to use it in that regard.
I don't know. Not really.
No.
Yeah, the whole concept, like, I mean, I never did online dating until someone right now in Bali was like, "Oh my God, you should download the Bumble app. There's so many hot guys here." And I just downloaded it. I'm like, this is so weird. I have like 3 seconds to make a judgment on just pictures.
Right.
And it's just like I feel really like I don't know, judgmental in a weird way, you know, because person has an aura, person has an energy. So sometimes
Right.
like you meet someone, they can make the craziest jokes, and you're like, oh, this person is so charming,
Right.
even though they're not be the most handsomest person ever,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh, you start to feel that feelings, and you're like, okay, cool, I think I like this person or not. But I feel like it's too much. Like, do I like him? No. Like, what if the guy's nice, you know? And then you don't want to say yes to everyone, because then it's like, okay, you don't have any taste. But yeah, it's like really awkward for me. I'm still like understanding it,
Navigating it. Yeah.
but it's also, I think, also convenient, like you said, traveling, and like you don't know anyone here,
Right.
and then it's almost like you're making friends. It doesn't have to be necessarily dating like lovers. It
Yeah.
could just be like, oh, you're here too, like what do you know about the city, and something very casual. So I think it's a good way to meet people. Like I think I would use Bumble for the best friends. There's a best friend part to it, so I think that one is cute, like to meet girls and stuff. And it's like it broadens your horizon than just going in person and going to that club or that place, right? You can meet different types of people. So I think that's really nice about that. And like maybe I'm photogenic, so I like, am I having my profile?
Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, what if the guy's really good looking in person, but he just is horrible at taking pictures?
Right.
Yeah.
He's like not good in photos and vice versa,
So
right?
you're just gone. But then again, there's positives to it too. I mean, you're broadening the sample size. You have so many choices now.
Yeah, I don't know, but how would you feel if you actually matched with someone on these dating apps and then you end up marrying them? Like,
I know.
That
happens, right? But I for some reason, I don't sit right with that kind of idea that you guys met online on a dating app and then you guys got married.
But
I don't know, it makes me kind of uncomfortable.
No,
why does it matter
Yeah.
if the connection is genuine and it's
yeah.
there?
What if that's how universe wanted them to meet?
I don't know. I feel like if the universe wanted it, then it wouldn't be like through technology. I feel like it would be in person, like aura and community and discussions in the back. I don't know why. I feel like it's more inauthentic marrying someone when you match them on a dating app. I don't know. It's just me. Like, what do you guys think?
No,
it's
I don't.
serendipity. I mean, you could be saying that all traffic lights shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And because I stopped, the girl stopped at the traffic light and you stopped at the same time. And so it's weird because
there's more
traffic
random
lights
chance
don't
in
exist.
terms of a traffic
100
light.
years ago.
Like, it's like how close you are to that, like, fate or, like, whatever it is, right? You're more distant from it when you're using...
No, at
dating
all.
app.
Because you know what?
Right.
Even that is faith, right? Like, you're swiping and stuff. So it's like, by chance, that person came. And, like, you said yes. And then you met, you know? That's also, like... Universe is... Everything is universe. You know, this technology, these mics, everything is part of the universe, right? So you can't say it's not authentic. Like in this term that it's destiny, because destiny is anything. Like, what if you make a hit song and you put it on YouTube and it's like it goes viral? You're gonna say, oh, it's not authentic because it's like on YouTube, it's internet platform, whereas before it would be on a CD and like you have a label, right? Like as technology changes, as society changes, the tools also we use change, but that doesn't mean universe does not exist and helping it out. Because those are the toys you're playing
But it
with.
becomes more streamlined, right? Because now you have, like, someone that's open to a relationship and then someone else that's open to a relationship. And then they use this dating app. So, like, it's like all the single people get on these dating apps. And then it's almost like, it becomes like a likelier chance that you're going to meet someone. Whereas before it was less of a chance.
Well, before your parents would make you arrange, you know, like, you know, there was community, very tight only. But now, because of that, you can meet so many different types of people. And, like, it broadens, like he said, the sample size. And then it's like, out of that sample size, you still manage to find the one and get married.
Yeah.
That's-
and I mean,
that's
after
amazing.
you match, you still got to go on dates.
Yeah, you still got to do the same
Yeah.
traditional
Yeah.
process, I think.
But that initial part of it before going on dates, I feel like is so important because you're trying to kind of find the ground of, are you guys friends, or are you guys liking each other, or you guys don't like each other? So that initial interaction I find is important in developing a friendship or even a relationship, and then you're removing that kind of ground through these dating apps, and that's why I would never take these dating apps so seriously as to get married, because you've deprived of that initial stage or grounds of knowing each other, of how you react with a friend, trying to know if they're a friend or if you like each other.
I think that's something that you just feel it, right? Like,
Yeah.
even let's say you message like, you know, you go old school, you write a note and then you go on a date and then you're like, damn, this is awkward. It was all in my head. I just thought she was cute, right? Like, I think that stages that you're saying goes in any dating kind of ritual.
Kind of removing
You know,
it,
I
though,
just
like-
want to say one important thing is that social media is actually just exposing human behavior.
Natural human behavior?
Yeah.
No.
And it's amplifying it.
What do you mean by that?
It's social media. It's social. It's us that are there. It's nothing, no one else, right? And it's amplifying our characteristics, our personalities, our voice, our ideas, and it's being amplified, and that's who we are.
No, but I think the missing point that you're missing, the point is that, which I always use, is art imitates life or life imitates art. So like whenever you see something that's social media, right, that's actually not a reflection of how you see the world. It's more of you start to see the world because of
I think
the
that's
existing
individual.
technology.
I think that's individual.
Right? So it's like you start to act this way or behave this
but
way.
I think I know what you're saying.
Because of the dating app.
Like, it's interesting because let's say I give you a picture. Like, let's say I tell you, oh my God, there was a fighter or something. Elephant. I saw an elephant that came in the house. You're going to be like, yeah, okay, sure. But I'm like, yo, I have a picture. You're going to believe me right away. Right? So I feel like pictures and images have such a strong impact on us that we don't even question it.
Right.
That's why like AI problems are coming up, right? Because we just are so used to like validating pictures, like, oh, this must be like this because there's the snapshot, there's the picture, but it's not really true, right?
Right.
It's like, so that's why I think dating could be misleading, kind of like you're like, you know, but then again, in personal,
Right.
in person too, someone can be something else and pretend to be something else, right?
That's true. That's true, yeah. But I feel like it's more closer to reality.
But I guess it's like easier in social media to pretend to be who you really are.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So would you marry someone if you like matched them on Tinder or whatever?
Yeah, if the
and you guys were
If the
good,
connection is genuine and
Yeah.
I meet them and I date them multiple times, then why not?
yeah, like you're not gonna break it up. Be like, oh, I really like you and I love you, but you know we met on a date.
I mean, yeah, okay.
I don't know.
I would say, yeah, your story is not as nice as, oh, I tripped.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah,
You know,
I think that's what
tripped
I tripped
and
in
then I
yeah,
met
yeah, exactly. That's
not
what I'm
movie
looking.
like.
The meeting.
The Bollywood
The
movie.
Bollywood, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that fantasy, I guess I still
I guess
have.
you
like,
want to just
how'd you guys
wanna
meet? You know,
imitate
it's-
art.
Yes.
But you know what's interesting? I have a really cute couple that I met in Vancouver. Okay, Josephine and Martin. They're so cute. Shout out to them. And they were so cute. I was like, how'd you guys meet? Because they were so cute together. I was like, whoa, you guys, they're like, we met on Tinder. And they were making a joke that how crazy is Tinder that we met. And now they have a baby. And they're living in a farm and they're doing super good together. But the fact that they were proud, right? So it's like, I think you have to own it. Like, this is the reality now.
Yeah.
The app exists. It's there for you to use it. If you're gonna be cringe about it, then don't like.
And yeah,
Yeah, but that's why I'm
I wanna
hesitant
add it's
to, like-
new, so you know, it's obviously it's not gonna like, it's not gonna jive with everybody. But as we progress in society, it's gonna become a norm, and it's gonna be accepted like
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
falling
you guys
apart.
meant like
Yeah, and it's still gonna be a cute story because of all the people in the app, you still manage to find someone that suits you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess it's like the same thing of your parents finding you someone. It's like, oh, okay, that's how you guys met. Your parents like found, right? So it's like the same feeling I get when you say that you met on the dating app. It's like, okay, yeah, you guys just met on the dating app.
Oh, like you
Like,
use
you're missing
the
the-
device or something. You use like
right. I guess like you're missing the flair or like the initial meeting. But yeah, I don't know. Friends, I would be fine with, but going beyond that, I'm not sure how I would feel with that. Yeah.
But I find that. Is there anything you want to say?
No.
I was gonna ask you guys, how do you feel that because the sample size is so big, even if you find someone nice, you feel like there's more chance of people being like, they're good, but you know maybe there's someone else out there because it's like you have so many options.
Right.
Where back in the day it was like you don't really have those so many options, so you're like you take the connection more seriously, more sacred kind of thing.
Right.
Do you think because of that, people are looking for that perfection even more and don't want to settle down? Do you guys feel like does that? You ever thought about that?
I mean, the more people you meet, right, the more an idea you get of what you want and what you don't want. So if you have personally like a big enough sample size, it also depends on the friendships you have, right? If they're reflected in those relationships. So like I find that social media dating or whatever dating apps actually helps you kind of not actually broaden it, but actually make it more narrow, because you're exposed to so many social situations where you start to get a feel of what you want and what you don't want, what feels like a friendship and what feels like a romantic partner. So I feel like it narrows it down even more, because every person you meet is actually a reflection of yourself, the insecurities and the advantages and whatever the securities or whatever, so I feel like it narrows it down more, because you become more like, this is what I like and this is not what I like, and you actually understand more that there's not a perfect person out there, and like things
you get jaded maybe.
Hey, what do you mean jaded? Like it's overwhelmed?
Yeah
Definitely. I mean, people get dating fatigue, right? That's why there's so much ghosting now.
Okay, yeah,
right?
I wanted to talk about that.
The texting as well, people get tired, it's like it's so fast paced, right? It's like the next person and the next person lining it up, and life is busy. It obviously takes a mental toll. I don't think we recognize how much we are on our phones and how much we're texting and how much conversations we're having, because before we used to just email, for example, and that would be it. It would be mostly like, in person.
And you wait a couple of hours and that's what you're expecting.
Right. Yeah.
Even days.
Yeah. So then I think people get fatigued very quickly, and they even they just give it up and kind of realm back to actually meeting people in real life, because they find it more refreshing and not tiring, like social media tiredness or phone tiredness. So this is as well as that's why ghosting I feel like is even higher now.
I remember, I think back when I was in Montreal, Suzanne made me get Tinder or whatever, and I was like, okay, and there was one cute guy that I matched. Like I wasn't even using it, but it was like one guy, and I messaged him and I was like, Suzanne, he didn't message me. Or she's like, but Meta, this is like online dating, like it's the norm. But as a woman, I was like, but I said hello to you. Like, how do you, like, I was taking it like a physical interaction, and I was like, how do you not say hello back? Like, how rude, And now that I have the Bumble, I'm also not even messaging. Like, I'm not even responding, and I'm just whatever, letting it.
You
and
became
I don't
the other side.
Yeah, and I don't even feel guilty. And I realized that I was like, oh my god. Before I would be like, oh no, they messaged me just to be polite. I will say something. But now I'm like, I'm so easily.
Yeah, and then this leaks into your other relationships with other people that you haven't met on Bumble.
Yeah.
Right? Because why would that only be limited to that dating app or whatever, right? That's actually going to leak into your relationship with your friends. With your family, right? I've been guilty of ghosting my friends and ghosting family members as well, and I think it's because of that social media fatigue.
Yeah,
it's that phone
you
fatigue,
get so overwhelmed. There's so
it's
many
also
messages.
easy to do, right?
Yeah.
It's like the person's not there.
Right. Yeah. There's no consequences.
There's no consequences.
Yeah.
So you could just easily just
just
not respond.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. It's
do you think ghosting is bad karma? Or is it just
It depends on what the message is. I mean,
yeah,
if someone
true.
is saying they want something from you really
or
quickly,
you guys are talking and then suddenly you just cut them off without saying anything.
Without saying goodbye.
Yeah.
I think that would be bad karma.
If it's just strangers, hello, hi.
If you wanna say no to somebody and the way you say no is by ghosting,
then you have issues
bad karma,
right.
I mean, just be upfront and just
say no. I think people don't like confrontation as well as we're growing as a society, or as I'm growing up. I feel like people are less confrontational. They don't want to upset people, so the route that they take is just ghosting or not saying anything at all for the peace of the relationship. But I feel confrontations are so important. So important, because it really helps the individual and the other person grow. You're trying to find the balance, and if you have no confrontation and you just ghost, you're depriving of sitting in the sadness or sitting in the frustration or sitting in the anger together, and that's gonna lead to disruptions in the relationship.
True.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, ghosting is definitely an issue. It actually reminds me of this Uber driver that I was talking to, and he would be like, I was like, how much do you make? And he was like, people don't tip, because like if you go to a restaurant, you're gonna tip the waiter because he's looking right at you. But for an Uber driver, when they drop you off, I never get tipped because you're never gonna see them again. So the ghosting thing kind of like reminded me of that, because you're never going to see the person again. So I don't owe them anything, and that's an easy way out, I guess. In terms of going to a restaurant, you're always going to kind of tip the waiter, at least in North America. You're not going to tip it because they're right in front of you. So yeah, same I guess idea in social media and stuff. So.
Have you ever ghosted people? Like?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And like, do you feel bad after? Like, do you feel like you're not courageous, or you're just like, oh?
But ghosting how? Like because I don't want to talk to the person or not respond to them because it's just causing me mental stress, just like mental fatigue. Right? So I just let it be, and it depends who the person is, an acquaintance.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk to them, and it's being negative, and it's being like a toll on my mental health. I'll just ghost.
Right.
So I don't know. For me, I think personally, I'm learning that ghosting is like a part of society now, and it's like a normal way of people just like as easy as they're coming. It's like that's easy as easy they're leaving also, right? Then that's the flow, and it's very fast paced, like boom, 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 boom.
And I think ghosting can be healthy too. It's boundaries and stuff.
True.
Because you could just keep on going, and the other person can keep on going, and it'll just become like a mess and whatever.
Toxic.
Yeah, and just ghost, it's fine. I think it serves a purpose.
Like on a personal level, like first when I got ghosted, I was like horrified. I was like, what is this? Like my ego was really hurt, and I was like, I at least have the courage to say this. But I'm learning that this is just like a normal part of society now, and like that's how they deal with it.
That's how you navigate.
Yeah, and I shouldn't take it to that extent that it's like something personal. I think it's just a way of us interacting now. Like,
Yeah, sure.
And it's nothing personal. Like it has nothing to do with like who you are as a person. So that's like it. Is there like
But a lot of the times, I think for ghosting too, the excuse is that I don't owe this person anything.
Yeah, that's rude.
Like, I feel like that because like they're saying, oh, my like self-worth, like why should I reply to them or whatever, is because I don't owe that person anything, so I don't owe them a reply. But I don't know, I that statement as well is like I don't owe anybody anything is I think more negative than positive. I feel like, even though like some people say it as a positive thing because they're trying to protect their energy or whatnot.
Boundaries.
Right, but you don't like. I never think about the world in terms of if I owe someone something, or if they owe me something, right? It's not. I don't think I think relationships should be beyond that. You don't owe anybody anything; they don't owe you anything. So why are we talking about owing, right? That's not a self-protection mechanism. I feel like it's more of an insecurity.
Yeah. It is. I 100% agree with you. Like if I'm talking to someone and I don't want to talk to them, I will take the uncomfortable courage conversation and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I can't talk right now."
Yeah. Right.
And in the end, I feel better about it. They might think like, oh, she's such a bitch or whatever.
Confrontation.
Yeah,
right?
but I feel good. I'm like, look, I told you how I feel. That's it. There's no gray zone.
Right. And now it's the ball's in your court, and you do what you feel like doing with those. Then that's honesty. And if you feel like throwing a tantrum, you throw a tantrum. And if you can handle it and be an adult, then you do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're gonna go back. We were talking about dating, right? So like out of your league, like we were talking about that. Like, how do you think? What were we?
Like if out of the league does exist or not?
Oh yes. As a girl, I don't know. I just feel like
okay, league. Okay, sure.
Sure, but define it, Meta. What do you think it is?
League, out of league. It's like. I get. Is that what you're trying to say? Standards?
What do you think it is, and what do you think initially right now? What do you think it means?
Out of league is like you have a certain type of standard of a lifestyle or people that you surround yourself with, and you're comfortable with, and not everyone can be part of that level of understanding.
Okay, that's what you think out of the league, and do you think it should exist or not exist, or
me or
believe
Meta?
in it? Yeah, Meta.
Okay, there's like two parts of this in my heart. Like the hippie part is like, no, we're all the same, we're a family, everyone is like loving and stuff. But then at the same time, like I've traveled a lot and I know there's like different types of people, like huge differences in lifestyles and a way of looking at life. And even though I want to love everyone as much like equally that like I can, it's just not possible, because if I micro look at how they view the world, it's just not gonna match, and they're just not gonna get those ideas that I see the world as in terms of looks and like physical appearance. Like I am a bit snobby. Like I like good looking things. Like I like fashion. I like art. Like I'm like very sensitive with my eyes. Like I like pretty things, you know. So in terms of that, if I see like an attractive guy, it's always like, okay, if I like you, you probably like me too. I never had that problem where it's like, oh, this guy doesn't like me because I'm out of his league. I don't match his things, like, but it happens that I don't talk to people because they're not part of certain criteria that I'm looking for.
So that's out of your league. That
Yeah.
means you do believe in it, and it's a real thing.
Yeah, when it comes to dating specifically, yeah.
Yeah.
But when it comes to friendship, I'm more open.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Garvin?
I don't believe in out of the league things. I think like I don't believe in any of that. I think that there's just connection and there's no connection, right? And if you feel like there's no connection, that doesn't make the other person like out of your league or anything. I'd never think in terms of like lower or out or in your league. I just think like, you're not gonna, like, I feel like people have different personalities, right? So you're not, and the analogy that I'm gonna use is gonna be a little bit weird, but it's gonna be like a dog and a cat, right? So if you meet a dog, you get along with the dog, but and you like that dog, right? You're gonna take care of it, and you don't like the cat. That doesn't mean the cat's worth or the cat is out of your league. You just don't connect with the cat. It's fine, right? They're different animals. They're different people. It's the same thing, right? They're different personalities. So if you don't like the cat's personality, that doesn't make the cat's worth out of your league or in your league. It's just because you just don't vibe with the cat and you don't get along with it. That's okay.
But that's what I define as out of your league.
But I wouldn't use the word league because I feel like it's
more
it's
pretentious.
Yeah, it's pretentious. It's derogatory. I find
Right.
It brings people down.
It's a pretentious
It
word.
levels people.
Okay, well,
But
you
I would
can-
probably more say like it's
Type.
a slang.
Yeah, so we can replace it with type. They're not my type, but then that too is like you're putting people in a box.
Yeah, and I do believe like if you know yourself
Yeah.
and you love yourself and you know what you want,
Yeah.
you have leagues.
Yeah.
You have like certain criterias, like I like people that take care of themselves because I take care of myself.
Yeah.
But then you're also boxing yourself in because there could be a cat that acts like a dog, but you're not going to look at that cat because it's a cat, because it didn't because it looks like a cat, right? But then it has all the criterias of acting like a dog, and then you're going to be like,
Right.
oh damn, this is actually a
Like,
dog. It
okay,
acts like
I'll be out there and I'll talk about like, okay, I don't like people that are like big, like fat people, because
damn, fat shaming. Okay.
yeah, I don't feel comfortable because I was
There's no such fat shaming, bro. Fat shaming should exist.
Wow.
like I was
Y'all
fat.
are,
I was fat and I took the
Yeah,
effort to lose
savage.
weight, and
Yeah,
it changed my
exactly.
life for the
Yeah.
better. Like I feel physically strong. I enjoy exercise.
Yeah.
Like it just opens a whole world for you, right? And I honestly like people who are physically like active, who are fit, and people who don't do physical exercise. Like they can be my friends for sure. I have friends that are overweight or whatever,
It's
but
just not attractive.
but
at that
dating,
level.
let's say I want my partner to be physically fit because in the future I want to have a family with this person, and I want my family to have this lifestyle of fitness involved, right? Good
Yeah.
food, fitness. I want my kids to run and be able to get their runner's high, and we climb things. Like I don't want to be, even though the person is nice, but they're just like not physically active. Something about it just not make me attracted.
But they can have an issue, right? They can have like a mental health issue
for sure.
or
Yeah,
like a physical
obesity
issue, right?
And being fat, yeah, bro, it's complex. It's not just like
Right.
black and white.
Yeah.
It's not just because
Absolutely.
they stop the activity, right? It could be because
Absolutely,
they have
but
like
the
an
way
issue.
society today is, it's like accepting people being overweight is really, really bad.
And like eating shitty food and
Yeah.
love yourself no matter what. But it's like
Yeah.
if you really love yourself, you're
Yeah.
gonna challenge yourself to have a healthier
But
lifestyle.
it's not that black and white. I feel like it's not
Yeah, I
about the
mean,
lifestyle you have, because in America, for example, it's people are fat, but it's not necessarily their lifestyle that's making them fat. It's the food that they're surrounded with, right? So they have to be a lot more aware.
Right, but there's also people that are fit and they're surrounded by the same foods.
Yeah, but they have to put in the effort, and if you're born and raised in Canada, you're gonna have to put in less effort to be at that level. Because in America, you're surrounded with something like you get a coffee, it's like so much cream, so much thing, and you're looking around, you're like, oh, these people are just used to this amount of food, right? They grow up in that societal context. So when you see someone fit in America, they have to put probably more effort. Someone that's born in Canada, even if they have the same personalities, right? Similar personalities, similar ambition. But someone in Canada is just going to be fit because of the food and the surroundings that they have, compared to someone in America who has the same personality, right? Same ambition, same culture or whatever. But they're going to be fat because of things that they can't necessarily
the point here. They're
help
both
with.
Surrounded with the same environment, right? And one is still fitter.
No, well,
I'm more talking about dating.
I'm talking about like the food and things like that, right? People have different areas, they have different foods and different environments that they grew up in. That's why they behave a certain way, right? Or are fat, or are. I feel like it's not. I feel like this context of being fit or fat it's more rationed in with like what you're grown up with, right? A person in Africa is not
that's
gonna have like
one
the same
aspect, right?
Right, it's
that's
not gonna
just one.
like bodybuilding is a privilege, right? Bodybuilding and being fit is a privilege. Some people don't have the money to bodybuild, right? But they still want to, right? Like protein, eating, calorie intake.
There's a lot of
these
TikToks
things are
or YouTube's reels that I watched, Indian people in villages lifting.
Yeah, but it's more difficult for them, right? Someone that's born in a privileged place is going to be a lot easier for them to be into fitness because they have everything catered.
There's barely any excuse. If someone wants to do something, they'll do it. There's like barely.
Yeah, but
and especially being fit, you can run. Running is free.
You're missing the part where
but
the effort.
I just want to say something before we go off track. Is that being fat, obese, and unhealthy has a lot of different aspects, not just black and white.
It's like a big spectrum.
It's a social, it's a health, it's a money issue. There's like a lot of things that goes on. It could be health, mental health issue. It could be anxiety, traumas, a bunch of things. So it's not one thing.
But we were talking about out of league, so I was just saying how...
we should get back on that topic.
So the physical part for me is that physical part is not just only looks. It's the mentality that gives it that look.
Right. So what if the mentality is good, but they're physically not good, just because of other factors? You wouldn't know.
But I know myself. I know who I am. Like I said, I like fashion. I like art. I am very sensory with my eyes. You know. So
that's what I'm saying. If the picture is painted different,
I also think if you don't have those criterias in you, that means you don't know yourself either. Because everybody has their tics. Everyone has their tics and talks like that they like and not like.
Yeah, but I feel like it should be a more personality
thing. Some could be like
that's different now. Because now that's just a physical thing. But now, if you start to test your personalities, that I don't like a certain way, a certain person because they behave this way. That's different from saying that they look this way. Because looks are completely different from personality. A person can be really ambitious, really working hard and working out every day, but they can look like shit. Right? It's not necessarily that the output.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about someone that's fit.
Right, but
for you it could be someone that works hard.
Let's take away the fat of another example. Because I'm in the yoga meditation scene, you know, like even with mom, we meet people, she's like, oh, this guy meditates. Okay. There's an aura, right? So there's a physical aspect to them because of the actions and the lifestyles they take.
But what if that's not reflected?
You are what you eat. You are what you say.
But what if that's not reflected?
Right.
Because that's where it becomes superficial. That's why you got to know a person, not based off what they do or they look. It's you got to know a person, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? They can look like whatever, but they can have all the fitness.
That's the initial attraction.
Well, that's also looking through.
Like you will never see someone that's fit and he'll be lazy at the same time.
Yeah, come on, everybody. Like most people in their 20s are fit naturally, right? So, but they're lazy. They're couch potato.
But that's 20s though.
Right?
We're not. We're like past that. We're not talking about teenage love here.
No, but I'm talking like 22 to like 27, 28. You're going to see most people fit just because, not because they put in effort or just because they go to the gym. They're just naturally fit. But that doesn't make them a harder working person or a more taking care of yourself person compared to someone that's fat. Actually, the fat person might be actually more.
No, but
right.
But just because of about people that are physically active. We're not talking about natural.
Yeah, I'm talking about physically active.
Right, so they could be fat but physically active and that'd be okay.
But then if you're fat and you're physically active, that's kind of oxymoron.
You could be fat and still be.
Well, you could be on your journey. Yeah.
No, there's a lot of girls that I know, or people, sorry, that I know that are into yoga, and they're really.
But yoga's not exercise.
It's
not
more
fitness.
mindfulness.
Yeah.
No, but there's people, for example, in the military. They're fat and they're physically active, right? They run 10 kilometers.
But that's a different sport now.
Right, but they're
in
society.
They are, yeah.
They're gonna be looking fat. That guy's fat. You're gonna ask someone like, this guy's not fun in the military. That guy he can run.
Yeah, like
outrun you.
bodybuilders off season.
Yeah, for example.
True.
They're like, they look obese.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Things like that. So are you gonna be like, oh, that guy's, but he's into fitness.
Oh, he's out of my league now. Because,
He's not really exactly.
Yeah.
That's
But
exactly
then you
the
look
point.
at their lifestyle.
Right. Well, you just have to know the person.
That's what we're talking about.
Right. But we should base it off the personality, not off the aesthetic look.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but the initial attraction is always off look.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean.
But like to go past that.
It's like, I guess, out of your league. When we're saying that, you can't base it off of someone that looks fat.
But we're not talking about. But that's just one aspect of league, and everyone has their own.
Yeah, that's another thing. This
That's what
league,
we're
out of
talking
league,
about.
I think it's very personal. It's like a personal journey. And it's like a
and
personal.
you should, and everyone does have it. And if you don't,
Yeah.
if you say you don't, that means you're just not aware that you do.
Yeah.
I think that we should always look at.
Well, yes, I know you're gonna say you have to look at personality.
Yes.
You have to look. Yeah.
Character.
Traits.
Yes.
But that's
Characters,
like
traits.
That's the second step. That's the second.
No,
level.
that for me is the initial. Like, I don't care how you look or like what you do for a living. I care about what
So
do you
you
think
could
about
be
life?
a smelly guy.
Yeah. What do you think about? I'm a smelly
Yeah.
guy.
No, but I mean, like, you could be like
I'm
a
a
smelly
smelly
guy.
I'm a
Doesn't
smelly guy.
care about
Yeah,
anything.
100%, yeah.
He's like obese, and
Yeah.
it's a girl. You know, she's obese.
Yeah, but
she wears like
Really
like
bad clothes.
like ripped.
Yeah, but it's her
Smells.
philosophy
She
of
doesn't
life.
change her underwear.
No, but if her
and she
philosophy
has
of
like
life,
amazing personality.
yeah, if
You're
you're
down to marry her.
It depends on her philosophy of life, the way she views things, her ambition,
Yeah.
all that stuff, how she treats
Yeah.
other people.
Right.
Yeah, that's if all those are
that
good.
I was gonna ask you.
But
guys.
that comes down
If she
like
ghosts.
if she does. But here's the thing: if someone
If she's
does
marrying
that,
someone dating out.
all those things, it's really rare to find being in those conditions.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
It
saying? It's like an
reflects-
amalgamation of
I don't
character.
know. I don't think so. I think we
I don't
wrapped
know.
ourselves based off of the results because, and this is another thing. Your work in your life is never going to be actually reflected in the results, and you're thinking that in your results you're going to reflect the work that person has done. A lot of times people put in zero effort, zero whatever, but they have all the results in front of them, right? And vice versa.
Yeah, and in the picture, social media
Right.
looks amazing.
They put in a lot of things, but nothing in results. But it's like
Right.
you wouldn't know.
But that's superficial.
You gotta know the person.
But what we're talking about is not superficiality. Like being active, it's not superficiality. It's like it takes.
It is the character.
It's like it takes effort to do.
Yeah,
It
but you
takes
can't.
effort. Like it takes effort to take a shower, right? You won't get with a girl that doesn't take showers.
I would actually. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
You know?
it doesn't matter. Yeah, to me
Like-
that is showers. Like I know I met a girl that she's like I don't shave her armpits. It's good for you. Like she was like no, like screw that. I found that really attractive because she's like
So what's not attractive to you?
it has to be personality traits. So like analness, for example, right? Rigidity. I don't know, like
Close-mindedness.
close-mindedness, right? Not willing to discuss or be open about ideas. These things I find. What you think about life? Do you just go to work because you want to go to work, or do you think that work is beyond just work? You know, like what do you think about life? What's your
Like
your
you
purpose
question
here?
life.
Do you
Okay.
question life? Are you existential?
You know, some people would argue those are negative traits.
Why? Why?
So you could simply argue that those are negative traits because you got to be rigid, you got to be strict to achieve goals.
No, I don't think so. And I
And,
never
like,
based on
you
someone.
have to be disciplined
But-
to be, and that shows that you could be a good provider.
I realized in life though.
You know
that
what I'm saying? Like it goes both ways. Just because someone, you know,
I realized in life though that whatever qualities you have is also your negative traits too.
yeah,
Like if you're nice, like that's also a negative thing
Yeah.
that you have. Like if you're too flowy, open-minded, that's also a negative trait because it's like certain situations you need to be close-minded. You need to have like, okay, this is my values, I'm gonna stick to it. Like, you know, like cheating or something, you know, if you're like, oh, it's okay, they just did that, it's fine, we're a free world. Like everything that you have, it's always
yeah,
like,
for sure.
You know, it's not like, oh, I'm being nice is the good thing to do. You have to be nice. No, certain situations you have to be rude. You have to stand up.
You know, everything has a negative, like everything. And if you can argue the negative of a good thing or a bad thing, a positive of a bad thing, then that means you really understand life or that subject.
Mm-hmm. Well, I really like this thing with Plato. He talked about love, and he says like there's like 7 levels of love, and like the first level is obviously attractiveness. Like, you know, you see someone, you're attracted, and you're like, oh wow, physical, right? And then you realize, okay, this person is not the only one that's attractive. There's like plenty of people that are attractive. So then you kind of get over the attractive part, and then you're like, oh wow, you look at intelligence, character, and then you're like, oh wow, okay. So then here's when people kind of settle for the mix of both, a little bit of intelligence, a little bit of attractiveness, based on your league, whatever you prefer. And then if you go beyond that, you actually look at the philosophies that you're talking about, right? Like, I like a girl's personality because she questions, like, do you go to work? It's not about her having that quality. It's about you liking that aspect of the world. Mm-hmm. The fact that people can question and give back. So then it becomes global. And that's why in the end, you can love everyone. And it's based on where those ideas are stemming from. You know, like, I like people that are artistic and are they live in the gray zone, you know, they don't work like 9 to 5. And then I realized, like, why do I like that? Because I like living in the gray zone. I like to question things, you know. I like that part of what that type of where that idea is coming from, like so where that idea is stemming from. It's not really the person, it's the idea of it, like the artist, right? So in the end, I think it's like it goes back to universal love. So do you think also that I want to talk about power dynamics? Because me and my brother were watching Sex and the City. Archer fell asleep.
It was just mad.
He loves it. I totally forgot about this show.
You're gonna go to Paris with a Rus. Shout out to Big.
Big.
She ends up with Big.
I just want to say, like, power dynamics. Do you feel... And then, so this was a sentence. I think it was the first episode we were watching, right? Because we were like, let's watch from the beginning. And they were saying how, girls in your 20s, they have the power, but after in the 30s, guys have the power. And so do you feel like now that you're older, when you were younger, do you find it was harder? Like, you felt like more intimidated by girls, and now you feel like not as intimidated?
Yeah, I mean, I think that has to do with more finding yourself. So, like, when you're more confident in your character and your abilities and what you want, then it becomes a lot easier not just to talk to women, just to talk to any person.
Okay.
So it became, I mean, I don't know, I guess it's my own journey, but I was introverted a lot more before, and now I've had a thing where I become more extroverted, and I think that has to do mostly because I know myself a lot better.
It's like personally,
personally. So, and I can like kind of connect with any person that I kind of approach.
Yeah, like a character development.
And I guess when guys I feel guys are more immature when they're younger, just because all my friends, they just want to do like, you know, dumb things and you know, they don't really think and you know, they just want to get experience, or they want to chase kind of memories and things like that as much as possible. But as you're growing older, I feel like you become more and more comfortable because you've experienced all these things as like a young hooligan. Then you kind of want to discover people a lot more, you know, through like, you know, you try to talk to random people and, you know, try to get more self-reflection off of people for you, and you start to think about things more deeply. And I guess this comes in the realm of, as you're growing older, you want to be the provider and you want to be there for people, because like as a guy, like you always have this kind of weight that you have to support people around you, you know, like your family, your friends. You know, every day of my life I'm running around from one person to the other trying to help as much as possible, but that becomes such a norm, and you become more people oriented as you're growing older. And I think this leaks into female relationships, and you're able to talk to girls ranging from different ages, like from 20, because they kind of act older, all the way to like 35 or 38. Like there's no kind of imbalance. Like yeah, you can see like they're a little bit more immature, but you can still handle it. And but when you're in your young 20s, you really can't, because you don't have that exposure to the world. I would say. Yeah.
And you?
What's the question?
Power dynamics. I was saying how when like in the Sex and the City episode, they were saying how women have more power when they're in their 20s, and then versus when they're 30s, like guys have more of the power in the dating scene. Like,
so there's like this saying that I heard from, I forgot where, but it said like girls or women choose who they want to sleep with, but it's the men that choose who they want to get married to.
That's a good one. That wraps it up. That's cool. But me on a personal level, when I was like younger, I felt like, I think it's because I took dating like la, and like it was based on like physical attraction, like, oh, he has nice shoes, like very superficial bullshit, you know. Like, of course he's not gonna be dumb, but it was like not so deep. But then when I'm like now looking for like someone forever, I have all these criterias, and I'm like way more cautious of like where I put my energy, who I talk to, and it's like, and let's say if I meet someone that has that, I'm like more involved, whereas before, even if I meet the person forever, I'd be like, oh, whatever, you know, like I wouldn't take it so seriously. And I feel like women kind of lose their independence because they start to take it so seriously. They try to invest it because they need that forever and take it more seriously. I don't know. So what's helping me get my power back in my mind is like not to take it so seriously. Also, like go back to that lightness. Like, like it's okay. Do you think dating is necessary? That's what I was like gonna ask.
Dating is necessary for what?
Like in life.
In life?
Like lifestyle.
Like having a relationship?
Yeah, or like dating. Like we should date. Like you think it's important? Because honestly, like I'll just say, growing up with an Indian family. And even my best friends were very like old school traditionals, you know, were believed in like love at first sight and all this stuff. Like even my best friend now from high school, we don't talk anymore, but she married the guy from her high school, you know, like, and they're like.
And she never dated.
She never really dated, right? My other friend also like never dated, you know. So I didn't understand the concept of dating.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know, you find someone, you fell in love, now you're gonna do it forever.
Like a movie.
Yeah, like why would you break up or something like that because it's not the right time, or like what is that? Like you live life together, like la 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 la. But now as time goes, I think dating is really important, and I think you mentioned because it shows like a part of you that you need and stuff.
But it's necessary if you want to get married.
Right.
But if you don't, then it's just like fulfilling like a what do you call it? And not necessarily an emptiness or a void, but it's just like fun. You're just having fun, and you're just entertaining yourself. But if you want to get married, you have to date. I mean, you have to see what works.
Or maybe I want to say, do you think having a relationship is necessary
in life?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Honestly, no.
You?
And I think it's individual. It depends, you know, like everything in life. It depends on the person. It depends. Like some people do need a relationship to do things, and you know to prosper and be more happy in life. And some people
like what about providing? Like they don't have that urge. Like I need to provide. Like women have this I want to care and I want to have I went to this women's circle. I just want to add and I was saying how I'm so happy that I took away this like dialogue that I had, this narrative that I had that, I have to find a partner or else like I'm not complete. And it took me, you know,
it's individual.
And it took me like, but in Indian cultures and like, you know, it's like all the movies.
It's been pushed. Yeah.
Like it's like so propaganda that like if you don't find love, like you know, you have a good house, you have a good, like you're happy, but it's like you don't have a boyfriend, you don't have a husband,
like
and then you feel guilty. You're watching movies and I realized like, oh my god, this propaganda.
It's not propaganda. I think it's just majority.
This matrix, though.
It's not the matrix. There's no such thing. It's just the majority of society. It's just like that. And entertainment and art wants to cater to that. And people that do create those arts are the people that do feel that way. Right. And it's the majority.
But so many people fall into depression and anxiety because of this narrative, right? And if you just take that out,
for sure.
you're like... Whoa.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I feel like universe is like made for progression. It's made for like having offsprings, right? Like anything in nature is about. So I think it's like the biological clock. Like people like, it's a mix.
Sure, but I really think it's individual and it depends, and I think we should, as a society, be more open to that.
To being people more
and
single,
respecting
right?
people that want to be single all their life.
Yeah.
And not demean them.
Yes, 100%.
Be like, oh, he's single, so he must be a weirdo, or he's gay,
Yeah.
or he's like that, or like this.
Yeah.
I think we should start to respect people's choices more, and yeah, man, like relationship is not necessary. If you don't want to get into one, you don't have to. Like, you don't have to.
Yeah, but I feel like everybody should get into a relationship because they should see what it feels like. Relationships are tough. It's not easy having close friends. Sustaining relationships are really tough. You know, we do it with family because we have to do it. But if imagine you guys were like friends, or my mom was a friend, it would be so tough. It's not easy sustaining relationships. Yeah. It's the toughest thing you're gonna do in your life. Out of everything you do in your life, sustaining a relationship or a friendship through long periods of tragedy and pain and grief and happiness and comfort. It's so important.
But I don't think it's about being easy or hard. I think it's just about if you like to do it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but you discover so much of yourself because you know if you don't have those things.
Yeah, I mean,
if someone did it and they're like, okay, they don't like it, like you know they've been through like close friends and they've been through relationships, then you could be like, okay, yeah, he just like he just prefers it
like
being.
Every experience is about learning about yourself, and experiences are different. You know, it could be skydiving, you could be ocean exploring, you could be cooking, you could be, fitness. It could be like a lot of like every experience is about learning about yourself.
Yeah, but like you want to make sure that you get some of that experience, right? Like, for example, skydiving. Like, how close have you gone to skydiving? And it'd be like, oh, I flew in a plane, or I did bungee jumping. So you at least got close to that.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get to that skydiving ever in your life, but you got close to that experience of what it feels like. So I think even getting too close to that aspect of closeness or intimacy in your life with another person, with a stranger, is important. As it's not necessarily going to convert into marriage, or a long-term relationship, but getting as close to that experience as you want to is, I think, very important. And this could be in friendship.
Why?
Because I think it's an important aspect of human life.
Oh yeah, experience. Like, I really believe
relationships are probably the top of human life, if anything.
Yeah, I don't know. My philosophy of life is that we came here and you should experience everything. Like, I remember getting braces just because I want to experience the feeling of having braces.
Right.
And I make decisions sometimes based on just that. Like, I went to London to do my exchange just so I could have experience of exchange.
But again, I would just want to say there's a lot of choices that you don't make that you right?
True. Like, whenever you say yes to something, you don't know what you're saying no to.
Yeah, of course. That's going to be always...
And you're always going to say...
It's going to be consistent.
You're always going to say no to a lot of experiences too.
Yeah, but you're going to try to get at least
close
to whichever you want, whatever you can, right?
Right.
And I think relationships are probably the top priority, if anything, for human existence.
I don't think so.
Right? I think that creates...
but we're talking about what kind of relationship?
Any close, intimate...
I guess we were talking about dating, so I'm talking about...
love relationship? No, I don't think it's necessary.
Well, love. I mean, love can prosper in different...
Yeah,
but I mean...
Right? Let's say friendship...
It could be love for friendships too, right? Like, I've loved my friends or whatever, but that intimacy that you have...
I don't think there is anybody that has no friends in their life ever.
Well, no, but that intimate relationship with a friend, right? That's hard to have. You can have acquaintances, sure. But to be actually super vulnerable, like crying in front of a friend and them seeing you through tough times, I think that's
rare.
important to have, right?
Know somebody like that?
Of course, yeah.
That never had a friend?
That don't have friends, yes. That don't.
I'll be honest. Like, I have a lot of people that I know an acquaintance, but I don't really have like close friends like that. I would say
that you can cry.
Yeah.
You sure about?
Yeah, and because I think maybe because I have like such a long history
before?
With life of things.
Did you have before?
Like at a certain point when I was young, I did.
Yeah, so everyone does have.
But I think that's like a young thing. But now as adults, like I find it harder and harder.
Right, it is harder
keep
for sure.
Relationships and like even with the friends, like I have like 3 good friends, but I also know that like in life you can only have 5 people that are really close to you,
Right,
and like
because of
you
your
guys
energy.
I would
already
say 3.
yeah, like I already have like 1, 2 plus mom, right? So I already have 3 people, and I'm good with that. Like you guys know me, I can cry, you can know my insecurities and like my what's happening in my subconsciousness. But like friendship, other than like it's really hard also because I move around, so like people know like Meta in India, so all the people in India know me as like Indian Meta, right?
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
In the beginning I was a bit sad, like I was like, I don't have a group chat of girls, but now living alone and being alone, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And then whenever I meet someone, I treat them not even as acquaintance, I treat them like like they're close to me,
Right.
like I'm authentic with them,
Right.
because I know who I am.
Yeah.
You know, and if let's say I'm with them and something happens, I can probably cry in front of them, but I know that they're not going to respond to me because they don't know me
Right.
Yeah.
the way that you guys would.
Right.
So that's
we're family, we're blood, and we've grown up with each other. It's not like we've been separated for so
Yeah.
long for some time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We've been like stuck to each other like glue.
Yeah.
So we're like when we cry, even before we cry, we know that you're about to cry.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
crazy.
You can
like
just
that.
easily.
And I think that's enough. Like that's all you need.
But
in life.
I don't know, intimate relationship with like not
But
your
even
family.
maintaining like
This
is it gets
hard.
hard.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even maintaining this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
hard.
it's hard,
And I
yeah.
think that's the beauty, because if it was so easy going, then like what's the like it won't. That means it's meaningless too.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So it has to be.
Yeah.
for sure. It has to be like challenges.
Yeah.
Oh.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. No.
But I forgot who says this, but they were saying something so cute that having a long-term partner, like lover, because not family, you know, like someone that stays with you, they start to know you like family,
For sure. Yeah.
and they can help you. Whatever you have unconsciously come out in the conscious, because they know you, you know, and there's discussions, these things, and that's why it can actually help you psychologically in your life and your things. So I think if you have a healthy relationship where two people want to grow together, I think it's like the most beautiful thing in the world. Like,
and some people need that. And
no, I think we can all benefit from that.
Yeah, but one thing I'll mention, like a lot of the times, the things I tell my family, or the things I tell my friends, I would never tell my family.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends as well. They don't tell their families a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right? Even though they're close, they talk to each other every day. You're just not going to tell your family about it.
It goes with strangers too. There's a lot of things you would tell strangers.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't even tell.
No, but like vulnerable
your closest
things.
friends.
Like vulnerable things, what I mean.
True.
Right? Not superficial.
No, even vulnerable things sometimes.
To
you would tell
strangers?
strangers.
Yeah, because you're just like, eh.
Like what?
Yeah,
What's
like,
one vulnerable thing you guys
you
tell
won't,
strangers?
maybe you won't see this guy anymore, or like we're connecting through this conversation.
Yeah, and you just drop in something dark,
Maybe.
and they're like, okay, because they don't have that expectation from you.
Yeah, so it goes.
Yeah, that too. When you're meeting new people, it's a clean slate. You can be whoever you want. And traveling too.
I love
Clean slate.
traveling.
You don't have to behave a certain way.
yeah,
Because people expect you to behave like a certain way.
Honestly, I was
When
staying
you're
in
meeting new
India,
people,
and
you're
like
clean
people
slate.
start to know me, and they're like, you know, then I start to get
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
because
I was
now
like,
you behave a
don't-
certain way.
Yeah, like we talked about Kafka, right? Like people have that expectation on you.
Right.
So then they
Right.
have these things, and
Yeah.
you have to perform that way.
Right.
But when you're traveling, I can be
It's a
me.
clean slate. Yeah.
Yeah,
you
and
can be whatever you
completely.
want.
But
yeah.
then there's the dark side that they don't know me, and they
Right.
can't put that
Right.
unconscious to the consciousness.
Yeah, I guess there's a balance to everything. Right?
Yeah, I think we like covered like pretty much kind of what I wanted to do. There's like other things that I wanted to talk about, but I feel like we're like.
We could definitely go deeper.
Is there something you wanted to add?
No, I think we can leave it here, and it'll be good for
sign
the
out
first
now?
episode.
Yeah, this was our first kind of get-go for this, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here with me and taking the time to sit down and do this. I know you guys have other things to do.
So busy.
So busy in Bali with your
About to ghost
apps
you.
and other things.
I'm about to ghost you.
Yeah, honestly, if you ghost me, I'm gonna come to your room. I'm gonna tell mom.
You guys have to try the smoothie bowls. Addicted to
It's
it.
not that great.
Yeah,
street
so
food.
do subscribe, do follow, and don't forget to comment and share with your friends. I hope you guys enjoy this. So wait for episode 2. Thank you so much.
And also check out Beats and Pot.